It was roulette going over that.
When the girls come running over like, oh, this is close, I was like, oh, don't do this to me now.
It encapsulates everything that sport should have.
Every time I got to the bottom of the hill, they just went in reverse, so it was a long time.
The trickiest track in the country, going for the biggest prize. It's so exciting.
Is it comfy or not?
It is actually.
Oh, lovely,
Lovely.
They're you can eat them as well.
Yeah, they were borrowed off Nick Luck though.
They were borrowed off.
I know, Nick Lucks are hard. Like, you can't eat them really. They've been there like weeks.
Yeah? I'm loving the background as well. What do you remember of that?
Not much.
Not much?
No.
I like the hair.
It was back in the day when I'd have got very drunk very quickly after a success like that.
I wasn't born, was I?
You were a thought.
You were celebrating a bit soon there, weren't you, kid?
No, I was never in doubt, that was.
Oh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I bet you were going a bit.
When the girls come running over like, oh, this is close, I was like, oh, don't do this to me now. But it was alright.
The hairstyle's not changed then?
No.
Have you got the same suit still?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. I don't wear it anymore, but I've still got it.
Why not? Sorry.
You're better than that. You're better than that.
Gents, thanks so much. We're round the corner from the 2026 Cheltenham Festival. What's the feeling like, Dan? Do you still get excited at this point?
Oh, bloody right, yeah. There's a buzz of air, of excitement, and horses look great, and you know they're going into it well and fresh and healthy, and all the things you want to be happening. You know.
What was it when you were younger and you were just a racing fan that you found so fascinating about Cheltenham?
But it was just where all the best horses turned up. It was where legends were made. You know, there was no quarter asked, there was no quarter given. The old second last, on the old course, like it was you know, we can call it a dangerous jump now because there was so many fallers. But back then, I remember you used to hold your breath going down a 2 out when whatever you were watching or had backed or whatever, you were like, please get over that. And it was like, it was roulette going over that. And then, miracles happened, some miracles didn't, and great stories, but it's just a great place to be. You know, nowadays to think that I get to be a part of it, you know, you get to have your name on the odd winners roll and things like that. It's remarkable because people remember it, people want to be a part of it, which is just fantastic.
That feeling of having one that you train coming down the hill in contention, and punters will be able to relate to this as well. When they've backed one and you're in there, you'll be able to relate to it when you're riding one. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? Do you still get that warm buzz now, even when you've just got one coming down the hill?
Yeah, massively. Because in essence, I'm a competitor. So I know I'm going to win some days, I know I'm going to lose some days. But it's being able to compete, it's being able to get out there and to give it a swing. You know, isn't it just amazing? You know, I'm a 15-stone bloke and yet I get to play sport effectively. You know, it's not normal. You know, and like these lads, they're the bravest. These jockeys, guys and gals, flat jumps, whatever, they're the bravest of the brave. You know, they get up there with no regard most of the time for themselves. You know, they are passionate about the animal, and here they are, you know, around the trickiest track in the country, going for the biggest prize. You know, it encapsulates everything that sport should have. Winners, losers, good luck, bad luck. You know, great winners, bad losers, bad winners, good losers. You know, it's got everything right there for you, and 4 days of it, we're allowed to enjoy it and we're allowed to be a part of it. So for me, it's just an absolute pleasure. And if you've got one in contention or you've got one that you fancy and whatever, I mean, it's just, it's so exciting.
Ben, Shake 'em Up Harry was your first Cheltenham Festival winner. I want to flip it around. What's it like coming down the hill in contention and it doesn't happen?
Well, up until then, so Shake 'em Up Harry won on New Year's Day at Cheltenham, and that was my first ever winner at Cheltenham. And leading up to that, every time I got to the bottom of the hill, they just went in reverse. So it was a long time.
But why is that? That's not just the horses. That's the place and the pace that they go, isn't it?
Yeah, but a lot of time I was probably riding horses that were big odds or weren't good enough. So to get like those type of horses, like Shake 'em Up Harry was a massive part of my stepping stone, and I genuinely thought going into Cheltenham Festival he would win. And obviously Ben would fill you up with confidence, and like I went out there thinking this is going to win, and I turned in and gave him a kick, and rather than going in reverse, he went quicker.
What I find fascinating is the Grade 1 horses place themselves, but you've got a bit of a knack of landing one in a handicap. When does Dan Skelton decide, right, I think that's a Pertemps horse, I think that's one for the Grand Annual, that's one for the county? Is this months in advance? Is it last summer? Is it 2 summers ago?
It's some and some. It is some and some.
What's the longest one?
Chitibello, probably.
How far in advance was that? Where you just pinpointed the county? Not that, you know, we're working back from there. But how far in advance did you go, that's one for the county?
It was more than the year before. I think it was around Christmas the year before, something like that.
So do you sit down with the list of horses at the start of the season, sometime in summer, and go, right, how are we going to plot our way to Cheltenham? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
How long's that session?
It's continuous. Always thinking. But it's strange. Horses improve, horses go backwards. All of a sudden, it might be a new angle that you think of. There's lots of different things, but I look at the list of horses we've got already for next year, and I'm looking at the novice chasers going, geez, our novice chasers are really good next year. And then I look at the novice hurdlers and I'm like, we need to make sure they're good, because if they're not good, then the novice chasers, the knock-on isn't there. The knock-on has to be there. It's vitally important that the young ones coming through are as close to as good, if not better, than the ones that were there before. Not otherwise you're going backwards, but you're then running out of horses at the top end. So to end up with good handicappers, they have to have been good novice chasers, pretty good novice hurdlers, and pretty good bumper horses. Well, if you go through 2 years of your bumper horses being junk, it's very likely that in 2 years on from that, you're going to have no handicap chasers, because nothing was good enough to get through. So you have to really plan that out. And with that comes the odd horse that you go, well, that's perfect for a county. That's good for that. That's good for that. That's good for that. And then this year, for instance, say, Be Aware, like he was going to be a Grand Annual horse if he wasn't an Arkle horse. So, you know, are you good enough to be an Arkle horse? No, Grand Annual. So those ones are actually quite simple. The Chitibellos, they're slightly harder, because you are putting a lot into effectively one race. You know, if you want to win any of those top races, you have to target them. You have to then peak at that point. You can't just go, oh yeah, we'll just run that in that and expect a result. The only one I've ever done that with is Panic Attack. I ran her 2 weeks later, and the only reason I ran her is because I didn't have anything else to run, effectively. So I was like, well, she's in form, she can run. Other than that, you have to just like absolutely pick it out and train for that.
But when someone says, oh, here we go, Dan's got his eye on another county hurdle, or he's going to win another handicap at the festival, how do you feel about that? Do you like that almost
well, it makes me sound cleverer than I really am, so I'm quite happy to accept the plaudits. People always pick out Langadan. People always pick out, oh, here we go, Langadan. Oh, welcome to have a go with him in the winter if you want. Like, if you think you can make him go, help yourself. He was extraordinary, because he would not play ball. Absolutely would not play ball. And I have no idea why. I promise you that. Like, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, and you know, he was just a remarkable horse, but I could not get it to go.
Ben, from a riding point of view, why is Cheltenham and the races different?
It's harder, bigger fields. I'm still new to obviously all the festivals and the big races and everything, so I'm still learning, and I'm going to be learning for years to come. But I think because everyone wants it that little bit extra, the fields are so competitive. Big handicaps are like you wouldn't get much room. You wouldn't get any light for the hurdles or fences. Obviously, two different tracks. Downhill hurdles, downhill fences. It's a very, very unique track, and like I think we always say it, if it was an average track in the sense of if it was just run on a Monday and lesser grade horses are going there, it actually wouldn't be a nice track to go to ride. it is a very tricky.
Why is it so tricky?
Just because it's so undulating. You got I think 3 out over fences on one of the tracks. It's just off the bend, so you turn around and it's bang there, and then you go downhill to 2 out. It's just very, very hard to get a gauge of where you should be, where you probably can win from, and it's taken me a long time to understand different types of races, that where to be, what pace they go in, probably who to follow. That's the biggest thing I would do.
Full town.
Yeah, that no, but like if you're going into Cheltenham Festival week, I would generally look at who is on a fancied one, and if they're ridden similar position to me, then I would try and tag along the back of them, or not be too far away everywhere, because they've done it for a lot longer than me, and so I'm still trying to learn off the experienced ones, and it's a very unique place, and like I'm definitely not one to be saying how to ride it or where to go, because I still couldn't tell you where the best place to be is, really.
What's it like when you beat a Willie Mullins hot pot favourite?
Have I?
The New Lion, Final Demand.
Final Demand, yeah.
What was that like?
I thought he'd win.
Was it just like a bit of a yeah? Next
Look,
year, Willie.
At the end of the day, I've got to beat him. He's got to beat me. We've got to beat Gordon. We've got to beat Nicky. We've got to meet Paul. We've got to beat Ben Paulin. Like, they're all just there to be beaten. I don't really care who I beat, and and it might sound daft. Like, I don't really care who beats me. Like, if we get beat, we are hopefully all okay and we can do it again. Like, I don't get hung up on we got beat by them, and I want to exact revenge, and I want to do this, and next time we'll do that, and everything else. Like, just move on. Move on. I mean, I think people have got this thing about me with the Trainers' Championship that I've got this thing that I have to beat Willie. Like, I don't care who. If I win it, I don't care who's second. My ambition is to win it.